Capricorn, welcome to your bonus in-depth reading. That is Celtic Cross. I hope you're well. I hope you are fabulous. Like always with Celtic Cross, take it resonates, leave it does not. And if a second energy pops up on your board today, then you reverse those energies as you see fit. This is about as dressed up as I'm going to get for Halloween, which is tomorrow. Yes, it's tomorrow. I decided, you know what, it's probably the scariest thing about me. That's it, full stop. No, but typically I try to do a little something around Halloween time for camera, but I'm like, I just kind of want to keep in line with my t-shirt week this week. It's been so nice and comfy and casual for the in-depth reads. But yeah, tomorrow's Halloween, so I decided to break out the Scorpio AF, which, by the way, anytime I wear this, people ask me, did you make it? Did you make it? Is it on your site? No, I wish I had. I might have been able to retire by now. The AF is a very, very popular line. I get it. I might do a variation for my own site eventually, because it is kind of fun, right? So for those of you who might be interested in Capricorn AF, these are easy to find, like on Etsy or Amazon. Trust me, there's one for every sign. It's cool stuff. Yeah, no, I wish I had made this, honey. Let me tell you. Anyway, what's up? What's going on with you? What's going on for Capricorn? Show me Capricorn, please. I really did mean to put you in with the earth signs. Okay. For my last recording sesh. And then Virgo done tapped me out, and I told him so. Said, you done tapped me out? I got nothing left for Capricorn. But that's okay. New dawn, new day, fresh energy. Okay? So, you're at the top of the list today, honey. Let's get rolling. Show me Capricorn, please. Seven of Pentacles, crossing the Wheel of Fortune. Crowning the High Priestess. Past is death. Exiting Ten of Swords. That's good. King of Pentacles before you. Strengths, Nine of Wands. Oh, I bet. The environment, Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady here. Hopes and fears, you. Outcome is judgment. Okay. I like what you're doing. I do. Of course, they'll clarify. But I like what you're doing. I think many of you are getting back on your path, whatever that is to you, after a major disruption and or ending. I don't know what that ending is. It could be anything. Point is that you're getting back on your path. And while it might feel slow to start or slow to warm up, you keep at it. You get back to where you want to be, need to be, and possibly excel. Go beyond that. Okay? But yeah, there was a major ending here. I can't deny it. Even if you're new to tarot, that's kind of impressive, right? Oh, death, Ten of Swords. I wonder what that's about. Well, it's not exactly a thrill ride, And you're showing me I'm trying to get back into a space of normalcy, and that's good enough for now. We're going to give this some more time. You have a feeling to keep at it. Keep at that path. Be consistent. Okay. Invest in it. Keep going, Capricorn. There's that little fighter in you. Nine of Wands is in your strengths. Here, it's not really in the obstinate position. It's in the sense of, I have to keep fighting. I'm not telling you. That's your spirit talking to me. It's a relentless energy in you. To get back on the path, stabilize it. Get back on the path, stabilize it. And I see that reflected in your environment. The devil and the hopes and fears, that speaks volumes to me. There you are, darling. Okay? You are hopeful for yourself, and you're terrified too. Yeah. Well, look at what you've been through. Outcome is judgment. Okay. Let's get cracking. Seven of Pentacles. Where you currently are. Working. Trying, I believe, to maintain normalcy. It's not really coming across as stagnation. It's just a sense of normalcy. Okay? Wanting to get back in there and feel normal again. This is the world I recognize. This is the world I've built into. Okay? It's kind of steady as she goes. With what you've been through, yeah, I could see where you definitely want to exist in a space of neutrality. Okay. Steadiness. Stabilize it, and then you'll talk about growth, maybe. Let's see that Seven of Pentacles, please. Let's do one more. Throat's being a little funny, so if I have to stop and take a drink at any time, I'll let you know for the people who don't like the sound. Seven of Pentacles. Six of Cups, the High Priestess. The Hanged Man. While you get back on your path, you quietly, oh so quietly, some of you have a very strong intuitive self. It showed up twice. Beautiful. That means you've taken time to develop it. We're all born with it, but people who develop it, it shows. It shows. It's very different. Again, we are all born with that ability to intuit. But if you don't believe in it, you don't want to play into it, you don't want to learn about it, you don't want to take the time, you're not going to get the benefits of it. You want to understand it. Because you'll fail to appreciate that voice. You haven't done that. It's here for you twice. Deeply intuitive you are. Six of Cups. Hanged Man, so that's very quiet, internal. While you get back on your path, stabilize it, get it back into a known structure. Okay? Quietly, you reflect on a soul bond, Six of Cups. Someone of the past, it doesn't automatically have to be a person of intimacy. It's someone whom you are deeply bonded to and you share a unique history with. So that can be family, friends, okay? But you think about this person quietly, from very quiet, learning space within you, okay? Your intuition guides you a little more every day about that connection, what you've learned from it because of the insight. It's currently a non-active bond. In other words, you're not participating in it. You contemplate it from within. So it speaks to you. In terms of spiritual development, how you feel about that, what did you learn from it? Possibly trying to gain perspective in your own intuitive way about what they might have learned from you, because it's a dual process. That's only going to go so far, as you know. Intuitively, you might have an idea of what they might have learned from you or taken away from the connection from their point of view. And there's a good chance you might be correct, but ultimately you may not know. But still, I see you processing it. And I see you contemplating it in a gentle way. It's important to you. You're trying to sort this out, this bond out. Wheel of Fortune. It seems like time is begrudgingly passing. When it feels slow, it is slow. And when it moves fast, it's fast. Two of Pentacles, the Fool, and Death. Yeah, I know. Don't you hate it when time points things out to you like that? I know I do. It's fair. But still, it's annoying. A little annoying. Two of Pentacles, the Fool, Death. It's kind of like saying it's about time you stopped opening up to that. Thanks, Spirit. I know. I'm figuring that out for myself. And the universe reminds us of this, and it arrives via the form of whispers, impressions, and feelings, and the odds and ends of the things we witness, such as meaningful coincidences. See? You're not putting any time, energy, effort, or resources into that area anymore, or into that bond anymore. You used to be a fool for it, and you always try to find a way to make it fit or come together or give time, energy, and effort to it, and now you don't. See? Isn't this so much better? Isn't this so much better? Isn't this so much better? And you're like, yeah, sometimes it is. And sometimes it's very difficult. Yeah, but there's something here you stopped showing up for or trying to make work. Two of Pentacles very loosely in this context. Stop trying to make it work. You stop showing up for it. You stopped being open to it, spiritually or otherwise, and death. It wasn't just the end, though, of you putting yourself into that bond. It represents transformation. Again, it was the universe's gentle way of poking you and saying, you've changed. Aren't you glad you changed? If you hadn't, you would still be giving to this, and time would start to lose meaning again. It stretches out indefinitely in the wrong direction. And you put a stop to that. So again, this is all post. You're showing me all post. This is all post-tarot, post-theory, post-energy, and your quiet reflections on it. And they're making a good point. If you hadn't put a stop to it, you would still be trying to make this thing work. So I don't know who this is. Once more, it could be what you might have called a formally complicated connection between yourself and, say, a sibling, a best friend of 20 years. I don't know. Yeah, it could be a person of intimate value as well. It's entirely up to you. No, Celtic cross does not mean love reading. It just shows up as it shows up as it shows up as a connection. So as it resonates. But yeah, they're pointing this out to you. So yeah. While you're out there, card 1, 7 of Pentacles, keeping your path in order, trying to get back to normalcy. Your gentle reflections on the inside about this connection, what you learned from it, possibly from their point of view, what they learned from you. And the universe is trying to celebrate you. See how much you've changed? You're not giving to this anymore. This time last year you were. Or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I can't tell because the Wheel of Fortune is kind of obscuring everything. Death is here twice, so tarot math, that adds up. Okay? I could be looking at a very slow transformation. Where they're saying, you could have been doing the same thing, but you didn't. You put a stop to it. But this was you a year ago, 2 years ago. You were given to this. And you felt bad about it, or uncertain, confused. And now you stopped. Aren't you glad you stopped? And like I said, you're like, yeah. Yeah, it hurts though, sometimes. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad I stopped. Okay? So I know that I took my time with that. I just wanted to impress upon you. Well, that looks hideous, honey. I know. I'm aware. I know this looks hideous. But I promise you, it was good transformation. Okay? I know. And I know you get it. Not many signs do. Yours is the devil, for God's sake. Mine is death. It's here twice. Trust me, people have very poor opinions of initial presentation. I promise you, this wasn't the ending of you. It was the transformation of you. It's beautiful. I see lots of people hit the reset button. You did more than that. It's like you're due for a rebirth. I don't know that you see it yet. The High Priestess is at your crown. And like I tell everybody, all signs have pros and cons. You have many strengths as anybody else, and as many weaknesses as anybody else. Okay? I hate that. I had to explain that to somebody the other day, that the devil showed up in their strengths category. And I had to take extra time with that because I know whoever that collective was going to be like, they're going to freak out. It's... Guys, I know. The High Priestess is at your crown. Oh, look at you. Bless you. Queen of Cups, Nine of Cups. The Chariot. You are so freaking loving. It must have taken a lot for you to stop showing up to this. The King and Queen of Cups, I know for a fact, given your kind of energetic disposition, not only do you have a big heart in you, within you, do you still love that bond? Yeah. But the love didn't make sense as it was playing out in reality, so you put a stop to the reality piece. And your spirit was freed that day, but the implication of that freedom is still catching up to you. See, Capricorn, you don't have to give to this anymore. You chose to stop. We're proud of you. And it hurt, honey, but here's the thing, the High Priestess, I know you know, that when you go to sleep at night, you're at peace in your heart. You know it was the right thing to do. Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups, the Chariot. You have so much more space within you to pursue anything that you want, that speaks to your heart's desire, so long as it's coming from a good place within you, nothing is stopping you. And that's the direction you're headed in. So it's more than just getting your life back in order and getting back on a stable path. It's so much more than that. You're showing me emotional freedom too. Okay. Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups, the Chariot. Intuitively you feel this. I said you are remarkably intuitive. It's beautiful. It's nice to see this for a change. Real talk. So I know that for the Capricorn I'm looking at, as I talk to you, this is registering in the notes of your hearts and in your soul. More than anything else. And while you have down days, and you think about those times when you were giving to this just a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you can also feel the release of it, can't you? And that is rebirth. You're showing me release. You have so much more space in your heart now. And while it might feel like you have more time on your hands, I know. Let me tell you what that's like, just to kind of put it a little bit more in down-to-earth terms. So I'm an ex-smoker, real talk. I'm an ex-smoker. Don't recommend. I grew up in a culture or society where smoking at a young age was actually considered quite normal. 80s, 90s. Okay. But yeah, it was considered cultural normalcy. Now it isn't. Today's generations would have no idea what I'm talking about. It was considered cultural normalcies. And it's not just something that was USFA in the 80s and 90s. Lots of countries had that same sort of attitude that predated 50s, 60s, 70s. Okay. But anyway, once upon a time I was a smoker. And you know, one of the hardest things, and I've quit smoking for over a decade. Trust me, I've had my lungs checked out. I'm good. I never go back either. And you know what? The biggest thing that any smoker will tell you is the hardest part about quitting is what to do with the extra time. Oh yes, the chemical piece, that's real. The addiction piece, absolutely, that's real. But I would say the second biggest issue, and one of the biggest reasons people go back, aside from the addiction, time. That 5-minute break adds up if you do it 10, 15 times a day. What do you do with the extra time? You don't have any space to check out mentally. You don't have anything to fiddle with for that 5 minutes. And I know you think it's just 5 minutes, but yeah, add that up. Add that up to all the mental and emotional attachment of that 5 minutes. It's the break I need. It's the break I need. And that's what addiction is. So I don't know that you necessarily had an addiction here in that bond. But I know that you're struggling with that question of time. What do I do with my time now? Not that I'm no longer putting it in this unnecessary direction. I'm not saying useless. There's a purpose in this. I'm saying unnecessary direction. What do I do with the time now? And that was one of the things you still kind of struggle with. Having to point all the energy back at your path and get on track with it. Because it's no longer going in this direction. Where your time, energy, effort, or resources are, I'm sorry, being misunderstood or wasted. Because they're kind of showing me the naivety of how you used to open up to this. And in a way, it allowed you to kill some time with someone that you deeply cared about. But somehow, it was not the best use of your time either. And now you get to give it back to yourself. So think of it that way. I get to take my time back now. And put it into me. Because your emotional freedom is through the roof. And that's where you can intuitively feel happy that you're disconnected from this. You're free from it. It's the physical piece I think some of you still struggle with. Anyway, just wanted to take an extra moment to give you a little bit more about that, because that's how I'm seeing it. Yours is very rich today. Yours is very emotionally and spiritually rich, I would say. Let's keep on. As I looked up on my screen, not yours, but on mine, on the recording data, it hit 1919. That's cool. I think that's cool. There's a kind of myth and symbology behind most numbers, and 19 is considered one of the heaviest you can experience. Heaviest, hardest. Some would even say it's the most torturous of the numbers. And that's how you know You're there. The 20. 20. Judgment. Okay. 3, I know. 3 cups. Yeah, I know, honey. I see it. 3 cups, 3 swords, King of Pentacles. You know what? You love them. You love them. They were not deserving of it. I know. I know a fuck up when I see one. That's a fuck up. They weren't worthy of the time, energy, attention, effort, or resources you tried to give this. You're showing me spiritual naivety. I opened up to this because I thought it was a good thing. And I appreciated the bond in our history, our mutual histories in there somewhere. And when you gave this up, you started to feel emotional freedom right away. As you started to disentangle it, your biggest question is what to do with the time. So that feels like they wasted your time, but I promise you it wasn't useless. And 3 cups, 3 swords, King of Pentacles. That's what needed to end. For some of you, not all of you, it is a classic combination in tarot. For those of you who are familiar with it, it might have been along the lines of third party. Yes. You were opening up out of a clean, perhaps naive spirit. They knew. You love them authentically. This was something a little too flippant from my point of view. Taken a little too lightheartedly. King of Pentacles, 3 swords, 3 cups. They knew the investment of this. You didn't. That's why I had to come to an end. For others of you, outside third party, because it may not be, 3 cups can still stand on its own as a 3 of swords, absolutely. So outside third party, simply rejection. Rejection. Rejection of the heart. Rejection of proper connectivity. Rejection in taking it further, despite your efforts to show up. It was like, and from that point of view, the bond once more. Our history is unique. Let's not take it for granted. I'd like to open up to you because, hey, there's got to be a reason we're here, right? Connecting. And from their point of view, it was kind of, again, just a sense of rejection. Failed to invest or take it seriously. So you don't need to have a third party for that. So as it resonates. As it resonates. And 10 of Swords is on the exit. Yeah, no, this doesn't hurt like it used to. I saw that. You showed me that on the opening. Like I said, the fact that you can kind of quietly contemplate this now at your own pace strongly suggests to me, oh yeah, the worst parts is over. But I like how the universe has caught up to you on the timeline, and I know it feels that time is so slow, and you wonder what to do with some of your time now. That you no longer invest in them, and I have to push back on you. You reinvest in you. You will always be your best and biggest and brightest investment. You can't go wrong with it. Invest into you, invest in yourself the way they failed to. Okay? You will always be your best investment, so treat yourself accordingly. Okay? Einstein, and with it, killed the bullshit of feelings. The Emperor, 7 of Cups, 4 of Cups. Yeah, I believe that was you. You had to stand in your power. You might have some very strong Aries in your chart. You had to stand in your power and reject this and ultimately say this isn't good enough. You're right, it wasn't. 4 of Cups, 7 of Cups. This isn't good enough. This feeling like an option, I strongly suspect you were made to feel like an option. And it hurts you. You're worth so much more than that as Emperor. So while you might have opened to them in a naive sort of spirit because the bond meant something to you, at the end of the day, you're showing me I had to take responsibility for this because I felt ultimately like I was being treated like an option. I was very disappointed to know that, learn that, or be in tune with it, or feel it in some way. In other words, I told you, this person knew. They've been through this before. I'm not reading them or they. I just see what's there. I just know. I just know. They've been through this before. You thought it was special. But it was. But their failure to recognize it is not your problem. And not an option. Okay? You're a whole human being here that got hurt. But yeah, here it is. Disappointment. And even if it's not, again, a person of intimate value, that kind of put it in that particular bracket of a little bit more on the intimate side. Still, whatever this is, you feel like you were treated very poorly. Be it by someone you know in the family or a friend. Okay. King of Pentacles. So, might have been connecting to a fellow Earth sign, by the way. Seeing lots of that here. We also have Scorpio energy. But I'm thinking Earth for Earth here. I am. King of Pentacles. Page of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. And back to you. Good. And back to you. I just know it wasn't just you in that death in the past. Okay? But this is absolutely you coming up. So the last time we saw that Wheel of Fortune was here in the challenge position. You are hyper aware of time passing very slowly. What do I do with my extra time now that it's not pouring into that particular direction? Even in a small way. And yeah, you get square with you. Time catches up to you, and it's kind of like you snap to. Page of Wands, Ace of Swords. You have the new truth awaiting you. It's going to give you more focus. Excellent. That's just what we need. Yeah. Yeah. So I love your emotional self. It's so forward, it's so honest, and it's so very free. I have to keep pressing on that point. You were emotionally free. The concept is what's the next best road, path, or investment for me? Okay, I got things back in order. It's back on track. I'm stable again. What's next? You're going to have that truth occur to you. And then time is going to speed up quickly after that. Sounds like we have some sort of pickup outside. So excuse any background noise. Page of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Swords. Yeah, you're going to snap to really quick, soon enough. Okay? In fact, many of you might have your new sense of direction here at the end of October. It'll be your truth. Allow it to guide you. A solid sense of what's next for me. Oh, yes. Love it. Be open to that. I have the feeling it's going to hit you beautifully. Just right. Just so. Be inspired. I see the birth of a new idea. I know I do. I know I do. I see the birth of a new idea right there. Right fucking there. So, you're already emotionally free. 3D. What do you do next? Now that you're not putting yourself into that, you've got a strong new idea about you. All right, Nine of Wands is in your strengths. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Absolutely. It's more than blockage, guys. Nine of Wands is doing the same thing over and over again. Now, sometimes that is in the respect of standing up for oneself, which is how I see that for you. Nine of Wands. I have to fight for myself. I have to fight to continue to move forward. I have to fight to get this out of my life. Okay, I have to fight to learn from it, to heal from it. Okay. So I don't see it in its weakness, which is the repetition of behaviors, although you might have associated yourself with that person in the past about the repetition of behaviors, and that had to stop. Okay, so again, keeping in mind our strengths can be our weaknesses as much as our weaknesses can be our strengths. Where I see their Nine of Wands as a pro, it can just as easily be a con. So there's a point in the past where you might have used it against yourself, connecting to this person with a certain frequency or an insistence, when ultimately it was proven perhaps we should not have done so much. Okay? But then also to uphold the ending. I will fight for my space, my sanity, my emotional self, to do what it is I need to do. Nine of Wands is in your strengths. I want people to be aware tarot, like always, reflects nature. Nature reflects the human being. Pros, cons, strengths, weaknesses, black, white, sunrise, sunset. That's why I don't read reversals. I don't have to. I can see it in the opposition as much as anything else. But if it flies out in reverse, I'll take it, you know. All right, the Sun, Two of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. There you go. The Sun, Two of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. I know you know what that's like. Yeah, and like I said, I can definitely see where you use your strengths as your weakness. There I see where you fought for the attentions of this person because you were convinced it would make you happy. There's that Two of Pentacles again. We saw it at the opening. The Seven of Cups is on the exit. Yeah, I mean, you can just as easily use that Nine of Wands against yourself. If you felt that whatever it is here would make you happy, you were going to fight for it. I see that. But now you're also showing me I need to reassert that energy in a different way. It has to be worth fighting for. Otherwise I will never put my energy into something or someone or a situation ever again. I got to know what I got to know what's worth fighting for. And that includes my own sense of happiness. But if I have to contemplate it too long, if I have to do this balancing act bullshit way too long, if my presence is taken for granted and that becomes clear to me sooner rather than later, then it's not worth fighting for, and it's within me then to block it, to reject it. Okay? So know that about yourself. Makes sense to me. Knight of Pentacles. Oh, yeah. Let's see that Knight of Pentacles, please. I like how your next idea is right around the corner. Knight of Pentacles in the environment. Six of Wands, Triumph. Nine of Swords, Stress. Seven of Pentacles. There you go. Yeah, it's awkward getting back on the path, but you are seeing markers of success. Feels good. Okay, you are stabilizing. Slow and steady as she goes there. And the path, again, once more, is the stuff that's already rooted or has value to you. Okay, stuff you already started growing. And it's a part of your life, be it your home, your work, okay, your connections that you already have in play, your resources that you already have in play, okay, getting back in tune with it. And you are seeing the results of it, Sometimes you stress, and I think that stress is sometimes come from that space of what's next. You're answering that, okay? So I hope you ease up on that a little bit more. Allow it to come to you. The idea is coming. The idea is good, but I know you're looking for that thing, what's next, what's next. You're going to have what's next pretty soon. I don't necessarily think it's a love connection, though. I think it's a strong idea that gives you direction. Because I respect the path and getting it in order, steady as she goes. But you're restless. You want more. You want to do more. You want to focus on more. Some of you might be going back to school, by the way. More training, possibly, absolutely. You're always up for that. Capricorn, respectively, as a collective, is always up for training, retraining, re-education. Just give me more tools to work with, more skills, more experience. Thank you. You can make a lot work with very little. Okay, it's one of your superpowers. So yeah, I think many of you won't be going back to school. There is something here to do with radical insight that's going to fit you quite well. And it's going to answer that question of what now? What is my next investment? Well, you. It's investing in you. And that's going to determine a new function on your timeline about what you put yourself into. Okay? You get there. The Devil and the Hopes and Fears. Well, that makes perfect sense. There are times, of course, and hopes and fears is not an outcome. It's just who we are on the inside. You're scared for you. You hope for you. You're scared for you. You want to know that you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Don't forget how much time you spent in that intuitive space, understanding and feeling inclined to your emotional freedom. Everything else after that, what do I do with my time? You're close. Devil for the devil. Oh my. Some of you might be double, triple, quad cappy. You let me know. I told you there's double earth here, isn't there? I think you were connecting. Again, it's not a yours and theirs. I'm not trying to point them out. They didn't show me enough of a profile to give you more of what they did or their experience. That's not the focus. People get so confused about that. I'm focusing on your collective's reaction or energy or the breakdown of the situation as you best understood it. And yes, it's going to hint at the person who is part of it. But it's a hint. It's not a direct application like yours and theirs. But I'm telling you, there was a double earth in there. I know it. I just know it. Fellow Cappy, could be Taurus. I've seen that here. I haven't seen Virgo, but yeah, the earth as well. So anyway, double devil, the Hierophant, Ace of Wands. I can see why. See, there's that hope right there. You hope for you. You're also afraid of you. Some of you are fearful of yourselves and how strong your sense of spiritual commitment can be. How strong your own sense of devotion is to situations, people, places, things, persons here. How devoted you can be to them, and perhaps they aren't deserving of it. There's something to that. That requires a little bit more insight in regards to your own patterns about what it is you might throw yourself into at a devotional level, and it's not returned to you. Where does that come from? You want to take a look at that. Why do you commit to people, places, things, situations, circumstances that you know are not ideal, not that great, but you step up to it like it's your personal calling? Why do you do that? I can see that whatever you throw yourself into, you're awesome at it. But why? Why are you willing to throw so much of yourself on the line for a situation that doesn't look like it could hold a glass of water, never mind a whole ocean of it? Take a look at that. I can absolutely see why this Capricorn I'm looking at. You have hope for yourself, and you should. You're quite strong-willed, so make sure you use that force in your favor, not against you. But I can also see where, you can take your sense of commitment and devotion to a scary place. Okay. Where does that come from? It's almost like you're trying to make up for commitment you didn't receive. And that does not just mean like marriage, guys. We got to get out of that box. Commitment comes from any direction. Like, say, from a parent. You're trying to make up for what other people failed to give to you. I mean, honey. Where's that coming from? What are you trying to prove? Just keep in mind next time, like for like, match energies. Okay? Someone showed me, yeah, it hurt, but honestly, I could give or take this. This is an option type situation for me. Our past aside, this is an option style situation, and they knew it. They knew it. They also knew to some extent that you had put a lot of yourself into this, or you took it, quote unquote, too seriously. That also means that they let you. That tells me perhaps they enjoyed your devotion, even though they had no intent of returning it to you. So where does that come from? Because I don't want you getting caught in that shit again. And there's a good chance you could if you leave that unaddressed. I love your emotional freedom. I love that your heart's open and gorgeous, and that you're going to find your new sense of direction soon. But I'm going to challenge you to look at this. I don't ever want you throwing down your devotional energies for someone who perceived your connection as an option and you both knew it. Or a three of swords and a three of cups, not to be taken too seriously. And they knew it. I think that whoever that is really probably enjoyed that a lot. Oh, I know I got them on the hook. I know they're devoted to me. I know. It feels good, but also I want to be able to say it was no big deal if this thing fails, and it was going to fail. Okay? So I want you to be aware of that. You took yourself very seriously, and I can see why sometimes you might be afraid of yourself. Look at how much power you have. You probably thought they had the power. No, you did. I'll tell you what, they'll never get a taste of that ever again. Judgments in the outcome. Six of Pentacles, the Tower, the Fool. I promise you, listen, I promise you. Judgments coming up for you in the future outcome. This will be an insight for you. It won't be scary. It won't be challenging. It's going to definitely be a moment where you could be doing something simple like, oh gosh, I just enjoy, I treat myself, you know, I have a hard day, or just because I fucking want to, whatever, I don't care. I'll go out and I'll just treat myself to a ridiculously expensive bullshit coffee thing that's for some reason $10. And I'll do this on occasion, not every day. Hell no, not every day. I got a coffee maker at home. Okay, my stuff might be cheap, but it's good. But every now and again, I'll treat myself to some obnoxious coffee concoction. And maybe I'll put in a little treat too, because fuck it, calories, right? It's all spendable. It's all spendable energy from my point of view. So I'll go out and I'll do that. And let's say it's one of those moments where you have like that, where you're just out there and you're doing something and you're treating yourself. You're having a little coffee. You're having a moment. Maybe you're in the car. I don't know. Maybe you're singing a tune. And then it washes through you. I was supposed to close it out. Oh my God. I was supposed to. I was supposed to connect to this person. I was supposed to participate like this. I was supposed to do these things because I needed to learn some of these lessons about myself. I was supposed to bring down the house. I was supposed to bring down the Six of Pentacles, some sort of concept of balance here, okay? Where you two might have connected reasonably well on the surface, but there are much deeper issues of connectivity, particularly where the give and take was concerned. It was a false balance with the Tower. And there's the Fool. When did we last see the Fool? Right here. The time has passed. You were supposed to be a little naive. Have the experience you did with this so you could learn your lesson about devotion and call out bullshit balances when you connect to them. I'll tell you why. We don't want to learn this again. We don't want to learn this again. As far as this connection is concerned, it was probably the safest way to learn this. But I promise you have that moment when you're having your coffee or your treat or your whatever, and it's just going to wash through you. I was supposed to. I get the lesson now. I get the lesson now. This was a bullshit balance. They didn't take it seriously. I took it too seriously. What did I need to learn? It has something to do, I promise you, baby, right here with your hopes and fears. Yours is pretty substantial. That's why I took extra time with it. You're involved twice. And you have such a strong sense of spiritual devotion and a strong tie to hope. Please understand that everybody, there's going to be so many people you connect to that you can give or take. And there'll be some people you connect to that you feel that something, that bond there, that specialness, that uniqueness, that doesn't make them any more deserving. Especially if it's someone who tells you they could give or take it. Yeah, it hurts a little bit, but so what? We weren't supposed to take this seriously, but you did, and they damn well knew it. And that's why that house had to come down. That was a faux balance. Faux, F-A-U-X, faux balance. It was not meant to be. No. And I love that moment because those are some of the best judgment calls you can ever have. You're going to see that Tower, feel it, understand that balance. And it's like, oh my God. Not only did I close it down because I was supposed to, I learned what I needed to learn. Judgment, lessons learned. Being a fool isn't a bad thing. I was being me. I was being me with somebody who failed to appreciate it. I was supposed to let this go so I could learn from it. Where are we in time? Oh, no. Yours is obviously going to go into the realm of 50 minutes with the oracles. Worth it, though. Absolutely worth it. So I don't want you to underplay that moment. Is this obviously you're reading forever? No, of course not. I'm just capturing you in a moment in time. And it looks like your judgment when you have that experience. Oh my God, I was supposed to do that. It's going to give you a sense of relief. And like you're free. You know, you're free. I learned my lesson. It's almost like that feeling I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of spiritual jail. That's kind of what I think that might feel like for some of you. I was supposed to do these things. I learned my lessons. I paid my debt. I'm out. I'm free. And I'll never do that shit again. Because there's some characteristics about you, honey, that are so exceedingly strong. It's admirable. The devil as a strength can be. I'll say it because I read real tarot. I'm a real person. I've had real experiences. And ideally, you get your tarot from somebody who's had some real fucking experiences. I'll be the first one to tell you, again, strengths and weaknesses. There are many admirable qualities to the devil energy. You have a double dose of it. Not casual. You are not a casual Capricorn. But you have this lovely free spirit. I love who I love. I do what I do. Okay, I understand you. So be careful about who you devote those energies to. And look closely about where that comes from. How was that born? It's almost like you're trying to compensate. You know? Chasing the devotion you never received early on in life. That would be my first thought. You have too many things that you can be taken for granted, honey, so please be mindful of that. 60, Watchers transpersonal. Oh, no, I feel like you were under a major construction project, and the energies and influences, or the angels, if you will, you could not see. They were watching over the whole damn thing. Like you were a heavily invested project, I believe. From your guides, or however you want to put it, just your guides. You were not alone during this whole journey, this whole process, and I think that's going to occur to you as well. I love that moment that you have. It's going to be so freeing and feels so good. In the hand, the universe is your partner. I'm telling you, it's almost like you represent a massive undertaking with the spirit or universe or God, again, however you want to put it. You were never alone in this process. That's what I'm talking about with judgment for you in the future. It's going to blow your mind away. This was supposed to happen. This was supposed to play out the way that it did. All of it. My struggle, everything. I was supposed to be the fool. I was meant to be naive. I played my part because there's something here they needed you to learn. Don't get me wrong, they had lessons too, primarily not to do this shit anymore. Tells me the fact that they treated it so coolly, the way they did, tells me that fuck around energy is something they're familiar with. So they had a lesson probably not to repeat it. For your part, gosh, I know this sounds weird and I don't mean to make it weird. I apologize. But it's almost like, in many respects, well, perhaps it's not appropriate. I never know about sensitivity with people. I really don't. And YouTube is just as bad. So I don't want to be offensive, but it's almost like you're showing me virginal qualities around big spiritual lessons. Like this was your first big lesson. Like that, you know. And it doesn't matter about age. I'm not talking about age. You can still experience your first big spiritual lesson in a very raw, real way. Midlife, older. You're never too old for a lesson. Oh, no. I used to say that all the time. I stopped saying it. Maybe I should make that a comeback. We're never too old for a lesson. I don't care how old you are. But for some of you, this was your first big whopper. You know what I mean? Quiet moments. Seek solace in the silence where clarity finds its true voice. And that's exactly where you have been. Very intuitively quiet. You learned your intuition at an early age, didn't you? I think that's perhaps what's guided you from avoiding some major bullshit that most people experience very early on. I do. In many ways, your intuition, I think, insulated you. It kept you away from a lot of the bullshit, didn't it? but not this one. Like I said, it's like this was the safest way you could have learned this one, was this person. They knew they hadn't changed. They knew that you would bond to them, or that you were bonded to them previously in a Six of Cups and a shared history in some way. Like I said, this was probably the safest way to learn this lesson. They knew what their part was going to be. They knew what your part was going to be. And in a way, you can find comfort in that, because once more, you were never alone. You were guided through this the whole time. I think your intuition played a huge part in the delay. But it's okay. It kept you safe, too. Behind the veil. But now you have something that has added to your intuition. But anyway, behind the veil, welcome uncertainty as an opportunity for growth, and be okay with not knowing. And I know we all struggle with that. That's not a Capricorn thing. Everybody. Are you a human being? We all struggle with not knowing. And that's where I see you on your actual 3D timeline, is that you're struggling with not knowing about what to do next, what to do with my time. You're going to have some searing, beautiful clarity on that very subject soon. If not by the end of October, I'm calling it November. You understand? You're going to know what to do next. I love it. Judgment calls a little further out. Don't worry about that. That'll hit you when it hits you, and I love it. Wait. I don't ever advise to wait. These are the oracles. It is what it is. I would just say exercise patience. Some of you are so restless about that thing, that next thing to do, to give you focus. Hold on. It's coming. Told you it's coming. It's coming. You won't have to wait for much longer. But continue on with your life, okay? Yeah, done. We have the letters M, Y, my what? My, M-Y. Or if it's just the letters. Yeah, there you are, darling. Your medallion, Capricorn, Cancer, and Gemini. You might have these very strong placements in your chart. Could be connecting to, or this season might be important to you. All right, Capricorn, honey, I do hope this helped you. Yours was quite, I would say, honor to read today. This is good stuff here. I hope it helped you, more to the point. Okay? I don't even know what to title yours. There's so many ways I could take this, because yours was multiple parts. The biggest emphasis was on spiritual self, but you also showed me a realistic concept of self and your emotional self. I mean, so many parts of you were present today, and I appreciate that. So I don't even know what the focus should be. But I suppose I'm going to say something to the effect of everything played its part. I hope you see that. Everyone played their part, sure, but everything played its part, because it's not just people here. Anyway, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.